Alright guys, so welcome back. So I did AMA for Elephant Money and I did the AMA with SK Crypto K and he explained everything what we need to know. Now Elephant Money, it's very interesting project. Now the AMA is going to be divided into two parts. Part number one, everything explain what you need to know for Elephant token and how Elephant token can go 10x, 20x, even 100x. Listen to the video part number one. Part number two, what will be released later on, today or tomorrow, okay? We're gonna talk about, he's explaining how futures is working, how you can make 0.5% a day on your BUSD, how it's working, how is everything connected. It is very unique protocol what we did not see anywhere else into the DeFi space. Watching 1.5 speed, so can be much faster when you watch. Again, thank you so much. Listen, leave me a comment, let me know what you think. Link is in the description. Also, the referral address is right there, what is very important. Thank you, goodbye.
Perfect. There we go. All right, so welcome everybody. This is Crypto Phil, and we're going to do AMA today for Elephant Money. So it's not straight up like what is Elephant Money and all this stuff, but the most important is how it's working. So we have a lot of questions. We're going to get the answers from one of the best guys there who know pretty much everything. It's called SK Crypto K. He is also a YouTuber. And again, thank you everybody who coming to this AMA. If you watch this video on YouTube, if you have any question, come to my Telegram and ask at any time, or go to the Telegram from Elephant Money and ask the questions there. They have a huge community and they're always happy to help. So first thing first, nothing here is financial advice. Do your own research. Next thing, let's talk about elephants. So most people know Elephant Money, and I invested there around a year and a half ago. And when the hype was high and the price was skyrocketing like 10, 15x in 40, 50 days, like pretty much every 4 or 5 days, the price was doubling. And I went into the hype and then some shit show happened. It was some kind of stupid exploit and the price went downhill, and then I bugger off. I say, I hate this one. So, and it's been a year, and then I never sold my tokens. Because from like I put like 7-8K, and then they worth around a couple $100 after that, and then but from couple of hundreds they become like over $1,500, $2,000 after a year. And I say, wow, so the price going up. I said, this is not that. And I got hacked a month ago and all my tokens were gone. I said, oh shoot. So I spoke with SK Crypto K. I say, hey, is it worth it to get some tokens? So he sent me a couple of voice chat, pretty much 20 minutes, 15 minutes actually, voice chat. And he explained everything. I said, wow, this is very, very interesting. And it's taken me to hear them a couple of times before I understand, and I still am confused. So Elephant Money, SK Crypto, tell us about, in general, shortcut, what is Elephant Money, how long it started, what's happened slightly for the exploit, because people want to know, and how it's now different. And after that, I want to focus more, because everybody asking more for futures and also for the token, because everybody saying when the price is going to explode again, like when is that happening? And it was a terminology for that. What was called when the price going, everybody waiting
supply shock.
Their supply shock. Yeah. So when that magic going to happen, when we expecting to happen, is that real? Like, is that really can happen again? And all right, I will let it go. You feel free to talk as much as you can, step by step, explain everything.
Oh man, all right. There's so many different ways to go, but first and foremost, Crypto Phil, thank you for hosting this AMA and bringing me back out of the shadows. But yeah, man, and for anyone who doesn't know, Crypto Phil and I go way back. We've been talking since the early days of some other protocols, and happy to have this forum right now. And yeah, just kind of share everything with Elephant Money and why people should really pay attention. Okay. This is not your average startup, low liquidity from an inexperienced team token. All right. This is already 2 years old. All right. May 4th, 2021 was the launch of the Elephant token. And today you're basically looking at a behemoth of a protocol that has over $50 million in locked liquidity on the token itself, in addition to a treasury named Bertha that has like $19 million in addition to that. All right. So you can see on the screen share right now, there are over $205 million of assets under management. And there's many pieces of this ecosystem to really dive into, but to keep your attention, we're going to focus on the main plays right now, which is the Elephant token itself and why it's dope, and then futures and what it's doing to fuel the rapid rise for the price appreciation of the Elephant token. It's all connected, and we can get into all of that. So, yeah, Phil, so feel free anytime, just ask some questions. But let me see. I think one of the first charts I want to show is actually just some of the stats on Coin Codex right now. So if you look at this, fun fact for anyone who doesn't know, but Crypto Phil did a video yesterday and it was spot on, right? So he actually showed a 1-year chart of Bitcoin. He also showed a 1-year chart of Ethereum and said this: if you had bought either of those top two blue chip tokens, you would be down 6% and 7% respectively on both of those tokens year over year. Negative 6 and 7%. All right. But then he looked at the 1 year for the Elephant chart, which is above 100% year over year. So what this AMA is for is to show you why Elephant token is, in my opinion, the greatest store of value that is out there, because the chart only goes up, and that's mainly because of the Elephant treasury Bertha. All right. And as a concept, and even here you can see the highlights of just today. Prices increased 89% in the last 1 year. It's outperformed 90% of the top 100 crypto assets. All right. And that includes Bitcoin and Ethereum. So this is crazy. And everything here is bullish as well. But I want everyone to think this. All right. When you think of buying a Dogecoin or a SHIB or a PEPE, or even Ethereum or Bitcoin, those are all speculative tokens, because you're at the whim and the mercy of everyone who got in before you. Okay. That's the number one question everyone always asks. Am I late? What's going to happen to the price? You have no way of telling. Okay. And this is the stark contrast I'm going to draw between that and Elephant token, because those other tokens I just listed, again, people got in before you for cheaper than you, have bigger bags than you, and when they want to sell, they can cause some damage on the chart. All right. Whereas with Elephant, it's completely different. You have a token holder named Bertha, the Elephant treasury. All right. That only grows in size. And I want you to think of Bertha as a friendly whale that does not dump on you. Okay. That's the whole point. You want that person to be the biggest whale to protect the price and to lock up more of the circulating supply. That's the difference between Elephant and all these other tokens, and why Elephant token in and of itself just keeps going up. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Where do you want to go with this now, Phil?
Okay, can you just shortly explain what's happened a year and a half ago when the exploit happened, and how that make the project stronger?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to point over here at the Elephant treasury right now. Okay, so right now, the Elephant treasury is what I just talked about, being that backstop, that friendly whale that does not dump on you. Okay. And a year ago in early April, a 261 million flash loan attack happened, and they put all that money into a smart contract that then pushed a bunch of buttons, right? And extracted value out of the Elephant treasury. So again, if the Elephant treasury is designed not to dump on you, what the exploit did was force it to dump on you. It forced Bertha to dump. And that's why when you look at this chart right here, okay, this is a graphic of before and after the exploit, but you can see in blue, this is the size of Bertha, the Elephant treasury in blue, and you see it's growing. All right. And in red is the value of Bertha too. So you can see that price appreciation that happened on the elephant token. Now, what you see here is the drop. And what happened is back in the day, the trunk token was comprised of 75% BUSD and 25% elephant token. And what that smart contract did was it injected $261 million into trunk. It minted a bunch of trunk, and then it redeemed trunk. It had front and backdoor access to this elephant treasury, just in and out, just directly. And that mismatch and all that money and all the looping of the value there, it just extracted the elephant treasury down to basically nothing. And so what's happened in the time since is that now there are all sorts of fortified walls and, castle moats around Bertha right now. She is in a locked box, and there's security all around it. So what happens is all the incoming money that's supposed to go directly into Bertha, it actually stops at something called the BUSD treasury, okay, which is right here. And all the incoming money stops here first, and at a daily rate of 50% a day comes out. This BUSD comes out, buys elephant token, okay, and then stuffs it into the treasury. All right. And so there's levers at play that stops the money from just going directly into the elephant treasury. And the same goes for the money that leaves the elephant treasury. There is no just easy front and back door access anymore. I just explained the front door, and then the back door is this thing called the governance strategies right here. And basically this is all the outflow of money that's leaving the elephant treasury. It all stops right here. And I'm not going to go into detail with all this to over explain it, but basically the money coming out of Bertha stops here. These are community pressed buttons that support buybacks on the elephant treasury, trunk peg, and then the redemption queue. But this is the outflow of money as well. So in a nutshell, everything is completely fortified. And that same attack vector that existed a year ago no longer exists. The elephant treasury is the linchpin to the entire protocol, which is why the attackers didn't go after elephant token or the trunk token. Those contracts were never breached. All they did was loop money and extract the linchpin's value, Bertha's value. They drained her. Now that it's fixed a year later, you can see that the blue is climbing again. And so is the red. And that's why the price keeps going up. And everything that happened a year ago right here is inevitable. And it's going to happen again, which is why everyone right now listening is still on the ground floor for what's about to happen. This is a crystal ball that I'm telling you. Everything I'm saying is not speculative. It's math-based. Shout out to Elephant Money Herd. Go watch his videos. Constant product formula. Everything here is not speculative. It's math. So get ready.
That was somebody. All right. So, okay, next. Okay, I understand that. I understand. Now, just to make clear here, as I understand, so the people who did the exploit, they didn't make any money from this. They just want to destroy the project, as I understand.
Exactly. Like they didn't even do it for profit. They extracted enough value out to pay off their flash loan. And then there was $11 million extra that they took and they just threw it into these wallets. Like they did this completely to just destroy the project. They didn't care about profits. They just saw that elephant money was popping off. They were a bunch of jealous idiots and they just wanted to destroy something before it really took off. And that's what happened. But to their mistake, there wasn't no version 2 of Elephant. There wasn't anything that happened. Like the protocol is so deep in liquidity, it survived the gut punch. And if anything, arguably, the exploit was one of the best things that could have happened to the protocol because it's only hardened, battle tested, and strengthened the entire protocol even better than before. So now what we have going forward is going to be a rock solid protocol that's already 2 years old and only growing. That's what's amazing about this. And last thing, I drew these little, forgive the scribbles here, but 150 trillion tokens is kind of the benchmark we're hoping to hit. All right, here in a second. and you'll see pre-exploit what 150 trillion tokens did, right? That's this little crosshair right here. And then when you go down, you see in relation to what started to happen to the elephant price, okay? We started to enter this little elbow right here, all right? And that's when things start to get really exciting. I'm not saying the supply shock's going to start right here, but at 150 trillion tokens, we're going to start to feel it. And then as we go to 160, 170, 180, we're really going to start feeling that price appreciation on the elephant token like you experienced last year. And then, zooming out, look at where we are today. Look at what's happened with the blue and how Bertha is still growing. Look at this crosshair of 150 trillion tokens. We are at 134 right now. We are not far away. We are 16 trillion away from 150 when we start to repeat what happens before. All right. So this is what's really exciting. And this noticeable uptick we need to talk about later is futures. This uptick right here and how it just steadily goes up is because of futures and the incoming money that's buying elephant token and stuffing it into the treasury. And that's getting us closer to the supply shock that we've been waiting for. So,
okay, let me go back. So we expecting, like you're saying, when we hit 150 trillions, and now we are at 136 trillions. How many trillions per day, Bertha, growing up?
Right now, since futures has launched, shout out to BlackBerry, but or is it Black Raspberry? Crap. I'm so sorry. Anyway, he's been putting out these weekly reports, right? And they basically show that we're averaging 2 trillion per week going into the elephant treasury and growing this. So
that's perfect. So we're waiting, let's say, around 2 per week, around 20 more trillion. That's around 10 weeks. That's around 2.5, 3 months till we hit around 150 trillion, according my simple months. Well, that's giving me more time to buy. For me personally, I'm talking about to stock up because I'm doing DCA, as I said on my yesterday video, into elephant money. But the problem is I cannot see any dip. That's my biggest problem. I'm waiting for a dip so I can buy some tokens, but the dip doesn't happen. It's like it happened like 2%. It doesn't happen like 10%.
Yeah, it really doesn't happen. And that's because of that Bertha model that I described, that friendly whale that's designed not to dump on you. She just keeps, DeFi Springs, a good friend of mine, he made an analogy about a car jack. So think about, when you get a flat tire and you're mechanically winding up your car jack, that car jack is Bertha. And as you're lifting your car, which is the price, it just keeps going up and nothing's going to unwind that car jack unless you mechanically unwind it. So in this case, unless you are depleting Bertha, this car jack is just going to keep going up. And what really gets exciting is, when we talk about the LPs and the lack of circulating supply, what that means for the elephant price right there. But yeah, man, it's really exciting stuff here. And so yeah, DCA as much as you can, because the price isn't going to go down. It's just crazy. It's an amazing system. Okay,
let me ask you this thing. So we're still trying to talk about elephant for the token. Now, so let's say we're hitting around 150, 160, and we start getting that boost of the shock supply, what everybody talking. And how high can this go? I think we're talking about 10, 15x easy, in the next, I don't know, let's say a year. Because people, if this happen, again, nothing here, financial advice, do your research. If this happen, we don't talk about 10x in a day. We talk about weeks, months, slowly, but going up. Now, so last time when you can see your red marks from bottom to the top is around 15, 20x, if I'm not mistaken, right there. Yes. Yeah. Where you're showing. So how high this can go? Because I know a lot of people holding a lot of tokens. I know there are people who buying 1 BNB every day, like half a BNB every day. There are people who have holding, like they call, because what's happening is I start getting into your chat more often the last couple of weeks just to follow. I'm not active. Usually when I like project, I'm just go there and I'm just reading what people saying, And what I really like, is the community. The community is it's not toxic. It's all positive vibes. And I really like that. And even whatever happened after a year ago, and the community is huge. I didn't know you have so big and great community who are like, yes, we can do this, let's go. It's not like rainbows and something. It's something we have project and everybody just investment. After that we're going to talk about June and futures. But what do you think? Like, what we're expecting for the price? Like we're going 10, 15x, and the people take profits, and then we're talking about 50x, 100x in 2 years' time. Like, I don't know. Any prediction? Like, again, nothing here is financial advice.
Nothing here is financial advice, and that's a really good question. And everyone always wants to know when, and I get it. Yeah, man. So it's really exciting, and again, I'm going to show a chart here in a second. But before I explain what I think it could go to, it's really also a matter of how many LPs are circulating in supply. So this is a holder list of the Elephant token, right? And the very top 4 are the contracts. So you've got the graveyard, which we can maybe touch upon later, but it always holds 50% of the supply. And through reflections, it goes up to 51% and rebalances back down to 50. Always. It just does that circular motion. In second place, we have Bertha at 134.4 trillion tokens, right? And keep in mind, there's only 1,000 trillion of Elephant token that exist, right? 1 quadrillion. And then in third and fourth place, you have your Elephant BNB pair and then your Elephant BUSD pair. And what happens is when the size of Bertha gets to a certain point, in addition to all of the tokens that are pulled out from the LPs in human holder wallets, right? You're going to have this. That's when the supply shock really kicks in and it's unstoppable. But right now, if you add up third and fourth place, this is roughly 179 trillion tokens that are right here versus Bertha's 134 trillion, right? Eventually, there will come a point where Bertha is at 179 trillion tokens, and then the LPs are smaller when they're combined than Bertha. And that's when you start getting that exponential rise. So I say that because there's a really good graphic here that was in a recent video from Elephant Money Herd Bailey. And this is kind of a, for instance, this is just a really good graphic to kind of show what's possible, okay, as most of the people are holding the token and we're shrinking the size of the LPs. So when Bertha hits 150 trillion tokens, the price of Elephant is going to be about 17 cents per million, okay? At the moment, we're in that, 138, 140 zone, which is about 13.8 cents or 14 cents per million. That's where we're at currently today. But as you start to see the size in this first column here of Bertha growing, you can, make some assumptions about what's going to happen to the price of Elephant right here. So at 175 trillion, we're at 24 cents per million, or basically roughly like a 240 million market cap. When we're at 200 trillion, you go to 35 cents, 225 trillion, 58 cents. This right here, this is the previous all-time high, okay, or damn near close. So when we get into this 200 to 225 trillion range, that's when things are going to just start going bananas. And then you see the chart, just like you did in your video yesterday, Phil. When everyone sees that the Elephant token is just going bonkers and constantly going green in a market that's just crabbing sideways or going down, we're going to be that beacon that everyone's looking at. And all the chart watchers, all the algorithms, they're all going to be aimed directly at us, and everyone's going to FOMO in too late. Okay. That's why everyone hearing this right now, you're in early still. But anyway, this is kind of, your Elephant token price appreciation to answer your question. But like, even from today, you can get a 700%, 2000, it just keeps going. And there's some really good content from Bailey that really shows. I mean, from the points last year, you could go upwards of like 700x, which I don't go around and say that. But to me, in my opinion, the easy is like the 50x, the 80x, the 120x. Like that's going to be easy based on this math. People really need to be asking about, oh man, is this really going to hit like, 500x? Like that's going to be crazy, but it is possible. It is possible based on the math. So, but yeah, and it's all math based, not speculative. And then also side note, I had to go back into Telegram and correct that name. It's Blackberry Guy. Shout out to you. He's the one that gives the weekly updates on Bertha's growth, and he does a fantastic job. But anyway, yeah, this chart's kind of cool, man. And then you can see the elephant treasury in value, right? I think I told you today, if Bertha is at 134 trillion tokens, she's valued at like 19 million bucks. At 150 trillion, she climbs. She's at 25 million, 41 million, and then it just keeps going down, man. And so, yeah, hopefully this graphic was helpful for you, Phil.
Yeah, that's the graphic saying a lot. Okay. I think my head is going to explode. So good information. I think that's why in my video I say I can explain, because this is not just simple ROI DAP or platform buy and sell or just invest and just hold getting 1% a day. This is just something else. But simple without the supply shock. Just check this math in my head, what I did like in 10 seconds. 2 trillion per week, 52 weeks, that's 104 trillion without any just normal way. And we talk about now we are around 140 million. So plus 104, as we talk about 250 trillion in a year from now. And according to your graph right there, we're talking about 700%, 7x from just holding the token till a year from now on without any other people coming in, joining, just the normal things was happening in the last 12 months, according to my maths, and correct me if I'm wrong.
No, it's roughly what's going to happen. You know, everyone always wonders when we look back at this graphic here, but you know, you have to remember pre-exploit right here, elephant token holder count was only like 6,000 people. And then as it started to climb right here up this elbow, that's when you had this FOMO effect of all those chart watchers and algorithms, like people who don't even pay attention to Telegram and YouTubers, like they literally just saw a chart going green and they FOMO'd in, right? That is going to repeat itself. And this went from 6,000 holders up to like 18,000 holders in a matter of like 20 days. It was crazy. Okay. And so, that's gonna happen again. And what's really cool is when you start following, once you enter the supply shock that everyone keeps talking about, you just get deeper into the supply shock. It doesn't just like, oh yeah, we made it, and then you know it just like goes down. No, because of the taxes on the elephant token, you know, inherently there's a 10% in and out tax. That is a value capture mechanism that keeps Bertha in blue always climbing. In addition to that, when you have your farmers depot, like the trunk aspects that are taking your money and then putting it into Bertha, when you have your futures deposits, incoming money coming in to buy elephant, putting it into Bertha, all of these mechanisms have all this money pointed wide open at Bertha. Basically everything, the inflow of money is just wide open. Like Bertha's gobbling up as many tokens as possible, and then the outflow of money is at a trickle right now, you know, and that's by design at the moment so that we can get Bertha to a healthy level. But once the elephant treasury 7x's or even just 10x's, right, and this will go into trunk later on, but right now you see we're at $18.3 million. But remember, as elephant treasury grows in size and value, when you imagine a 10x, all right, this 18 million is going to be 180 million valued, okay? And the explosive exponential growth of the assets, or Bertha in this example, it grossly outpaces any of the debts of the system that comes from futures or trunk or anything like that. And also trunk does go back to $1 too. So if anyone's looking for a solid play, just understand that you know, there will be daily buybacks of trunk out of the elephant treasury. So when this is at $180 million or somewhere along those lines, you know, you can imagine, you know, right now today, I'm going to throw out an arbitrary number. If it was 1% a day coming out of 18 million to buy trunk, that's not really moving the needle, right? Trunk price is still low, but 1% a day of 18 million isn't moving the needle. But imagine 1% a day of $180 million buying trunk on a daily basis. Then you start to really move the needle, and trunk will get back to $1 and stay at $1. But that's a side note. I digress. We don't need to talk about that. The main play is futures and the elephant token. We have to get this elephant treasury healthy again by focusing on elephant and futures, and then everything else in the ecosystem just follows suit. Okay, so
we're going to be the next PEPE in a few months' time.
Yeah. And sorry, and like timeline wise, like I said, like 150 is kind of just a milestone. Once we get here, we're just entering the stuff. So if that takes, according to your calculations, 2 months, let's say 3 months, something like that, conservatively, then 2-3 months from now, that's when you want to start really DCAing, because we're going to start moving up a little bit faster. So maybe another 3, 4, 5 months after that.
I lost you there. I'm not sure if it's only me.
Oh, can anyone hear me? Hello? How about that?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I'm not sure if it's my internet or yours.
Oh, I'm not sure either. Okay, yeah, just let me know. But if it takes us 2 to 3 months, Phil, to get us back to the milestone of 150 trillion, and then just imagine another, 2, 3, 4 months before we start really cresting up this elbow again. And then, yeah. So I think if I had to, I'm bad at price prediction, but I think by the end of 2023, we are going to be somewhere in this pocket. Okay, this pocket right here, and then we're going to enter 2024, with some crazy fireworks. So.
Perfect. All right. So just to end a little bit for elephant, because we already talked half an hour just for elephant. Can you just tell the people? By the way, people, the link is in my last video from yesterday, and also feel free to use my referral, because can you explain where they can buy the token and how they can save a little bit on tax, and why when you're buying elephant from the website you pay like $3-4 for any transaction?
Yeah, absolutely. So anyone who's listening to this, please use the referral link for Crypto Phil, and you can input it when you go to the menu. There's a partner network page right there, and you can plug in his address. And what this means for pretty much everybody is that, there's a 1% reward split, 50-50, and you get paid out in trunk, and it goes into your Stampede pending area. But in regards to elephant token, team leaders receive 0.5% of an elephant purchase. So if you want to help out your favorite influencer, Mr. Crypto Phil, you come over to the, after you set up your partner, you come to the Buy with Bertha box right here, and there's a tab, and you can buy elephant token for an 8.5% tax currently. And 8% of that 8.5 goes directly into Bertha to grow her. And then the other 0.5 goes to the upline in elephant token. In addition to that, you could just buy it on PancakeSwap or Bogged Finance. They have it listed over there, and you can buy it for 10% tax. So whichever route you choose, it's fine. It is a little bit costly on the gas or the fee to buy it with Bertha. I think it's like $10 or $13 for the average user. And what's going to happen is basically, if you have $1,000, buy it with Bertha.
I bought yesterday. Sorry to interrupt. I pay $4 for 20 yesterday. I just spent $200.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I just paid 4.5.
Oh, not bad then. So yeah, buy with Bertha then. Support the system, grow Bertha, and then everyone moons. So yeah, forget about Bogged. But you can buy it with Bogged. There's a built-in chart right here. You can hit the buy button and it takes you straight to the site.